Good morning, everybody. My name is Dave George, SVP of North America from a company called Accedo. We're based out of Stockholm, Sweden, and I run the P&L for North America, including the Canadian and US media and enterprise sales. I'm going to let my colleague Anil introduce himself.
Yeah, hi, good morning. I'm Anil Jain. I am the Executive Vice President and General Manager for our global media business at Brightcove. We're the largest independent cloud video platform. We've been around for 14 years. We work very closely with our partners at Accedo on helping you guys solve how to get to OTT.
Great, thanks Anil. So I'm going to start off with a slide here that just shows the media and entertainment market cap space. This slide basically summarizes every company that has $1 billion or higher in market cap. And so our opportunity statement is to transform the video experience for media and entertainment companies. And the way we do that is through our software services or our product, which is a software as a service as well. And the three companies that we try to target in the media space specifically are pay TV operators, television networks, both broadcast and cable, as well as online video distributors. So you can see by the infographic that was released in January by Recode, it's probably the most up-to-date infographic that we've seen based on a lot of the mergers and acquisitions that are happening between both operators, broadcasters, and online video distributors. So the color coordination essentially is everything in the purple or blue. I'm a little bit colorblind, but if you see blue or purple, that's going to be an operator. If you see something in the green or the aqua, that's going to be a television network, and then the red is an SVOD service. So together with partners like Brightcove, we obviously tackle tier one companies like this in our space, but we're also looking to build and package end-to-end solutions that service customers that are under this, and these are aspiring virtual MVPD clients or studios or even digital brands that want to build an over-the-top experience to monetize their content. On the right-hand side of the screen there, you'll see that the video workflow or the ecosystem of partners is quite complex. So our swim lane that Accedo focuses on is really the video experience or the app development, the design, the development, the QA, app certification, and support and management of the product. And then our colleagues here, Anil, he'll explain a little bit more, but they basically cover all the video management, everything from ingest, transcode, DRM, packaging, all the way to delivery and monetization as well. So Anil will get into that a little bit later on. But I think this slide just summarizes our market cap, the opportunity for growth in the over-the-top space, and how online video distributors are growing their business. So this slide just summarizes some market trends from third-party data providers like Parks & Associates, SNL Kagan, Ampere. And what it shows is, there's a continuum that's happening in our media business, and not just in media. We'll get to digital marketing and enterprise brands as well. But what we're seeing is households are procuring more than just a pay TV or a linear cable subscription. They're also looking at over-the-top offerings or video-on-demand services. And we feel that based on the data that's been aggregated over the last few years, there is a coexistence between these two types of media distribution platforms or companies. In the middle there you see the ongoing trend from 2013 to 2017 of over-the-top existing video services, and based on all the data that we read, this is going to continue to grow. I think we're just tipping the top of the iceberg on where the opportunities lie for businesses like Brightcove and Accedo, and more importantly, content partners like yourself. And then the last infographic on the very right shows that there is a coexistence between linear pay TV television and over-the-top products like Netflix or Hulu, upwards of 2 to 3 subscriptions per household. I know in our household, we're actually cord cutters, but we do have 2 services that we use at home. In this particular slide, it's a busy slide, but basically there's a new normal. The red, green, and blue dictate pay TV operators, and then the gray is the up-and-coming online video distributors. So we see that in the market. As of 2014 and beyond, that market's grown quite a bit, and gaining a large chunk of the market share of people looking for new distribution strategies or new opportunities to grow and monetize their content. So in terms of the media devices that companies like Accedo and Brightcove are willing to support, nothing new here. You've got your typical tier 1 devices that people are using in their living room, laptops, phone and tablet devices, but we're also seeing quite a big spike in connected devices like Apple TV devices, Chromecast, or even game consoles. So these are the types of devices that we've looked to partner and focus our solution on from an end-to-end perspective. I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Anil to speak more into our joint solution.
Yeah. Thanks, David. All right, so one of the things that David pointed out is that when you've looked at, it's 2018, right? So there are OTT services everywhere, right? No matter what geography you're in, there is a streaming service for almost any type of content. The challenge, right, is that the device landscape, the proliferation of platforms has continued to change. You have to maintain and keep up with all these platforms. You're experimenting with different business models, and consumers drive everything, right? They want choice. They have the power of that choice to dictate how you deliver your content, how you charge for your content, and that creates a pretty challenging set of dynamics for you to navigate as a content provider, as a media organization. And when we look at how to enable our customers to successfully drive these OTT services, we recognize that many of them have been challenged because the CapEx upfront investment has been too high to actually build a bespoke, from the ground, from scratch OTT service. So Brightcove and Accedo, working together with all of our 1,000+ employees distributed globally and our experience in delivering a multitude of OTT services over the last 2 decades combined, we recognized that there was a need to actually provide something that was a more turnkey, yet just as beautiful, elegant, and powerful. And the truth is, media will always remain complex in some fashion, right? Providing that right video experience is not an easy thing to do. If you've done it, if you're here at the show, you know that that's the case. Our goal is to try and provide simplicity, to handle or abstract that complexity from the work that you do, and leverage the experience and the expertise we have in developing global OTT services. And the requirement is that you have to not just manage getting the content ready and getting it out to the various platforms. You have to also manage all the elements of your business model, whether you're monetizing through advertising, whether you're capturing payments, where you're capturing those payments, how do you manage the entitlements of what content each user is allowed to actually access, and how do you actually look at the combination of different types of content, where it's video on demand, maybe it's episodic with seasons of episodes, maybe it's theatrical and studio-based, maybe it's actually live, linear content or live events. The reality is consumers drive what we need to deliver, and as a media organization, you have to be able to not only provide the best content, but experiment with that content, provide it in different formats, and also provide it where those consumers, where that audience lives, right? Whether it's a lean back, 10-foot experience, or it's a mobile device, these are all the various intricacies that you have to manage. Our thinking and our philosophy has been all of you need to focus where your core competency is, on the content and the development of your audience, and we want to take the pain away in terms of the complexity of technology development, of providing the best experience, and then most importantly, it's not a once and done kind of thing, right? You don't build an OTT experience and then sit back and let it grow, right? You have to continuously maintain your platforms, your streaming protocols, update for changes in the ecosystem, keep your content fresh, change the experience based on data that you're receiving, the analytics you see in terms of how users interact. All of that complexity we want to make accessible to you and actionable without having to actually do the heavy lifting. That's why we built OTT Flow. So OTT Flow is a turnkey OTT service that leverages Bright Cove's Video Cloud platform. So Video Cloud is our flagship platform that is end-to-end, as David mentioned, from the ingest of your content all the way through playback, right? With the player technology, the SDKs for all the leading platforms, the analytics, the advertising integrations, the metadata management. That coupled with Accedo's Accedo One Studio and middleware that we've collaborated on, all put together in a turnkey solution so that you provide all of the various capabilities you see up here, from managing the content, transforming the content, playing the content, managing the subscription management components, managing the user data, and iterating, right, without having to actually invest upfront in significant capital investment to build each platform, or in the technical staff to continue to maintain those apps. So when we look at what the success factors are, they're pretty straightforward, right? Launch quickly. How do you quickly get to market, especially if you're launching a greenfield new OTT service? Right? If it's greenfield, you do not have a guarantee that those users, that audience, is going to come, or it's going to stay, or you have no necessary, you do not necessarily understand or have an accurate forecast of the number of subscribers you're going to get, right? So should you spend 12 months to build out applications and launch a platform without knowing what the return on investment is going to be? We don't believe that makes sense, right? So how do we get you quickly to market in a matter of weeks? How do you provide that compelling, consistent, beautiful end user experience across all the different device platforms? How do you do it in a way that doesn't break the bank, right? That allows you to prove that there is profitability in getting your content out in a streaming solution to all of your customers, all your audience. And how do you then, as I mentioned earlier, maintain the relevancy and maintain how up-to-date all of those platform experiences are? When something changes with Apple, right, or on iOS, or with the Android platform, or some new device comes out, how do you make sure that you are able to take advantage of that quickly and not left behind? As the industry shifts and suddenly, in a matter of 2 months, users have learned a new engagement model of how they expect to interact with content. They're not going to wait for you to catch up. They have the power to click and go somewhere else, right? How do you do that without developing a massive organization and having a huge budget? Together, our companies can help you go beyond just getting your content out there. It's about providing that full end-to-end experience. Given time, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each of these slides, but I do want to just mention when Accedo and Brightcove think about solving the OTT challenge, right, for our customers, we recognize that there are the giants on one side that provide these multi-million-dollar investment based OTT services, right? And they suck the air out of the room, right? In terms of, all of us are probably subscribers to the ones that I'm talking about. And then there is a world of content out there that has a real audience, that has real value. These are super fans that are engaged with the content that you provide. There are subscribers who are willing to pay to get that content but they want the same experience that the big guys have, right? So how do we solve that problem? We believe that there is a continuum of solution. There is not one size fits all. What we have done through the work that our companies have engaged in is we've built the most involved, complex, bespoke systems on top of our platforms, right? Where every user experience and iteration is different and unique for companies that are willing to make those investments. On the other end, we have developed our turnkey OTT Flow solution that provides that same power and capability, but makes some choices to prioritize what gets done for you. So you don't have to make those choices and you can quickly get to market. But when you compare those experiences, they look equivalent, right? And what you're varying, right, are levers of time to market, cost, budget, right? Flexibility and customization, right? So if you want some fancy UX experience that is unique to everybody else in the world, first I would say, please make sure that is exactly what's going to work for your consumers. But if it is, then you want something that's a little more bespoke. There's also a middle ground, and this is something that you'll be hearing news about from Brightcove and Accedo in the coming month, about a solution that combines kind of the benefits of a turnkey platform and solution with additional flexibility, so you can do some of the more sophisticated things that you may want to do. I'm going to go past this real fast. Let's talk about some examples so you can actually see this, and I encourage you to follow up with myself, David, a couple of our colleagues that are in the market, and you can look at some of the examples. So we could spend an hour talking about this, so I'm not going to, but Quebecor is a large media company in Canada that we worked with. They launched very quickly in a matter of 5 to 6 weeks their OTT experience using us. What's not just immediately visible, let me go back. What's not just immediately visible here is the fact that they not only have a great user experience, but they provide both video on demand content as well as live. They also have authentication, so you need your user credentials to actually authenticate yourself and get access. And so, again, supporting different business models, right? This is not saying everything is packaged like some of the other turnkey solutions you may have seen over the years, where everything is very rigid in the sense of one size fits all, one business model makes sense. This provides the flexibility for you to work within your existing business. Another example is a really interesting SVOD service called Walter Presents, launched in collaboration. This was launched in North America. They'll be launching internationally as well between Channel 4 and GSN. And this is taking a very curated approach to some interesting European episodic content, selected, handpicked from various countries around the world, and providing that episodic experience in a very simple subscription model across all the platforms you see listed up here. Again, very beautiful, very elegant. You can download this app on your phone today and check it out, play around with it. Take a look at how beautiful the interface is, how smoothly everything works, and all of the capabilities you have behind that. You can launch that yourself in a matter of weeks just using our platform. David, you want to talk about some of the other examples we have?
Thanks, Anil. I think the key thing to think about is the vast experience that we've had in the media and entertainment business launching over-the-top services. There's a lot of different people coming into the market and trying to, take a page out of the book of Netflix or Hulu. Some examples of that, if you look at Parks and Associates data that was distributed in November of 2017, if you look at the top 10 services that they've listed, all the way from Netflix, approximately 50 million subscribers in the domestic US, down to just over 1 million with a product like Sling TV. You've got television networks, over-the-air television networks like CBS All Access. They're trying to build products that are SVOD based. You've got premier cable networks like Showtime and Starz. They're trying to build not just a TV Everywhere product, but also a dedicated SVOD service. Some of them have, instead of bifurcating their app binaries into 2 separate apps, they've actually built one authentication flow. And then the last one I'll give you an example would be a big operator like AT&T merging with DirecTV. They've created a virtual MVPD service that's actually grown quite quickly, nipping at the heels of a product like Sling TV. We would call that a virtual MVPD service. What's the commonality between those 4 use cases that we just described? Accedo was at the forefront of building these over-the-top products. And so what our job is, think of a video experience company like Accedo. We're a cook in the kitchen. There's different ingredients, but what we're excited about is to partner with a company like Brightcove that brings all of these ingredients to the forefront, and we could bring that not just to media customers, but also enterprise customers. And so, me and Anil always debate what's the definition of enterprise. In our world, it's anything not media. So anything that's not a pay TV operator, not a television network, not an online video distributor. So what's crazy is, you get companies like Cyberobics here, a German-based company doing health and wellness. Now the irony, this is not our first foray into a fitness type app. We've worked with Les Mills, we've worked with Beachbody building these services, and as Anil said, the budgets that you need to actually stand up this type of infrastructure, let alone the content costs, are in the hundreds of thousands, if not in the millions. And so the work that we did with Brightcove was quite substantial because, like Anil said, we launched this product in a matter of weeks, not months. So we've been there with these bigger companies that have $1 billion market cap, launching these services. But what's exciting for us is we can go to media companies, big or small, or enterprise companies, and come to them and say, we've got an end-to-end solution. And one of the things that we love to do is put a lot of pressure on our respective sales engineers, and we dare our customers or our prospects, and we say, hey, give us an HLS manifest, and we'll show you your content with your brand on any device. We don't think there's a lot of companies out there that can tout that. So CyberOpix is a great example. I didn't go jogging like Anil did for the charity run this morning, so I might have to get some workout in. But another great example is Salmon Snowboard. I just came back from a great trip out to Vail, Colorado. There was a cable industry event called Adaptive Spirit in Vail, Colorado, supporting the U.S. Paralympic athletes. Great event. But what I was excited about was to see a retail brick and mortar store in the campus in Vail. And Salmon, North Face, you name it, they're there. But a great retail company like Salmon Snowboard, can you believe it? They want to create a destination site. So if you go to tv.salmon.com, you'll see a retail manufacturing company, proliferating their content, both video shoots of their skis, their snowboards, their clothing, apparel. People want to get eyeballs to the content. So it's not just about media companies, it's also about enterprise companies. With that, maybe I'll just play a little reel of what's to come for our two organizations. We've got a little video reel that shows the back office that Brightcove brings to the table, from ingest to transcode, all the way to CDN with server-side ad insertion and DRM. And then when you want to see that content on an endpoint, like a desktop website, an iOS, a Chromecast, a Android TV device, that's where we come into play. So maybe I'll give a minute to Anil and just give you guys a chance to be invited to an event that these guys are putting on in May. And do you want to talk about the
Yeah, I just will wrap it up. I know we're out of time. I see you. Thank you. But I'm glad all of you made it here. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Brightcove has held our annual customer conference, Brightcove Play, for many, many years now. It's growing year over year. Last year, we had over 500 people attend in Boston towards the end of May. I think it's Meredith, May 21st, 22nd, right? It's a great event. Please come by our booth. Brightcove is also we're both on this floor, Accedo and Brightcove. We're down on the left over there. Accedo's down this way. We'd be more than happy to talk to you about our products and our upcoming events, and we'll stick around here if you have any questions. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.